one of the main things that we need to teach you when we teach you spinning is to avoid spinning, actually. It's all very well spinning down through thousands of feet and showing you how to recover, but of course if you're too low to recover, you're going to have an accident before that point. So there's a few things that happen just before you depart into a spin that you might not be 100% au fait with. One of the things that happens in UK gliding quite a bit is that in order to spin a glider, the nose is up in the air. This is when you're training. And of course that never happens, well, it probably never happens when people have an accident. The nose is actually quite low. Let's have a compare of those two situations. So we're just flying along this nice little bit of convergence near Pocklington at the moment. What are we, 4,000 feet? Let's have a look around, make sure it's clear. So height is sufficient, 4,000. Airframe, know the speed. Straps and security are all good. So look out and location. Let's have a look around. Just over the Ministry of Agriculture buildings. We'll just keep tracking along this convergence line up and down here to maintain our height. Alright, what are we? 15 k's from Pocklington, so we should be okay. We're not going to, as I say, we're not going to do any spinning. We're just going to show you the departure to the spin, because that's the really important bit. So first of all, I'll just show you the normal, well, hopefully I'm trying to make it less normal departure into the spin. It looks clear around here, so, and people, you know, to demonstrate this kind of stuff, they'll raise the nose like this and the speed drops off, then they'll bring the stick back and kick the rudder in, and of course that will make the glider spin. I'll just recover by easing the stick forward. The old LS4 spins quite nicely actually. But of course, you know, that you as a student probably think, oh God, well, I'm never going to do that. How am I going to be flying around with a nose up here? Well, it is possible, of course. Sometimes that it does happen. But I think more often people spin in, you know, they have an accident because the nose is low. Let me show you how you can spin the glider with the nose low. So this is a normal attitude for 55 knots, so it's, you know, quite fast. Have a look at that attitude. What I'm going to do is try and keep the attitude constant but spin the glider. And I'm not going to do anything too dramatic. So let's turn around to the right. So it's going to be in a turn, this spin entry. So there's our attitude, still got, well, 51, 52 knots on. And if I over rudder the turn, you can see that I can slow the glider down whilst maintaining the attitude. You see how the speed's decaying. Some of that might be due to position error because of the side flow. But you can see that the attitude never changes, look. And the glider departs without going quite fast. The glider departs without the nose ever being above the normal 55 knot attitude. Let's just have another look at that. We'll do it to the right, just to make sure that you appreciate this. So here's 55 knots. Have a look at the attitude. I'll hitch myself up a bit more. So there's the attitude. I'm going to keep the attitude constant and spin the glider to the left. Okay. So the attitude's still constant. I'm still doing. Let's set the turn up properly. There we go. Strings in the middle. 55 knots we've got. Attitude constant. Yeah. We'll keep the attitude absolutely constant and spin the glider. So we over rudder the turn and bring the stick back at the same time whilst holding off the aileron to stop the angular bank increasing. And this is what happens when people spin in from situations like this. So full opposite rudder, stick centrally forward till the spinning stops, centralise the rudder and recover from the dive. We are 16 k's away, so we'll make sure we can get back to the airfield. This thing's showing that we're well in range at the moment. Something else that we could look at as well, as an instructor or as a pupil, say, you may have been, my mother-in-law, who's Scottish, might say bouthed at, as in, you know, shouted at by your student, by your instructor to keep the string in the middle. So let's stall this LS4 with the string in the middle and see how much warning we get and see how high the nose is with the string in the middle. So here we go. Look how high the nose is, look. It's above the normal gliding attitude. The glider's still flying, we're still doing 40 knots. It's quite a light LS4, this one. Keep the string in the middle. You probably can't feel the buffet on the video, but I can feel the buffet now. You can see that the ASI is flickering around. We've got that high rate of descent, and we've got lots of warning, and it just sits there, going around and round and round, and eventually it'll probably depart if I do nothing else. But it's just wallowing around, so I'll just relax that backward pressure, and it'll cover by itself. So that's with the string in the middle. Now let's have a look at that same turn. If we over-rudder the turn slightly, so I'm not going to over-rudder it too much, just a little bit. So you might have seen that amount of over-ruddering when you're flying yourself. Look how little warning we get this time before the glider departs. I'm not going to do anything too dramatic once again, keep the angle of the bank constant, but look how little warning we get before the glider. There's a little bit of buffet and then it really tucks in, and of course if I kept the stick back it would spin. So I'm just going to go over here and climb up because we're getting a bit low on the glide back to Pocklington. So that's the reason that your instructor has a go at you for keeping the string in the middle, especially during final turns and things. Because if you over rudder, which is very common, if you use too much rudder in the turn, you don't get any warning before the glider departs into a spin, and it will spin quite readily. And even an LS4, which is a pretty benign machine really, will spin pretty easily. Okay, well, hopefully I can get back to Pocklington from here. Normally you can for the 3,000 feet, but I've got a feeling the easterly's coming, so we won't be landing out yet, but there's full sun down there, so we can always go in there as a bolt hole. I thought I might be able to climb in that bit, but anyway. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. See you later.